Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Meghna Rekha. Well, beware the next time you press I agree on your Zomato app. What really are you agreeing to? Did you agree to be served or are you agreeing to be spammed? Did you just give away your consent to get promotions, to get ad sales, to get promos and sales pitches? Well, what if I tell you that in the name of serving you, restaurants may now be surveilling you, spamming you? Well, this time it is Zomato which has delivered a data dilemma for us. To agree or not to agree? That is the question. Well, the food delivery giant has decided to share your data, the customer's data, with restaurants after years of a tussle with the National Restaurants Association of India, which is the NRAI. Well, the restaurant owners said that they wanted your phone numbers every time you ordered from their restaurant. And now finally, Zomato has relented. Similar discussions were also on with Zomato's other rival, which is Swiggy. Now this has politicians, marketing gurus, citizens calling for a recipe for trouble. They are worried that consumers will be spammed by the restaurants and our data may not be private anymore and may just lead to a data breach. Well, let's break it down for you. Why and what are your options to keep yourself safe as well? So here goes. What is the kind of data which is now going to be shared by Zomato with the restaurants? Well, first, it is going to be only your phone number. What do restaurants want? They say they want to know who is ordering from their restaurants, how often they order, and what kind of food do you like to order. Linked to your phone, of course. Why do eateries really want it? They say they want to match their offers with their interests of their consumers. But you ask, what about consent? Do you have to agree or can you not agree? Well, so far at least, you will have to explicitly give your agreement to it. You will have to explicitly consent to having your phone shared with the restaurant. So how will this pop up? You must be wondering, how will this pop up on your screens? Has it already happened? Well, sample this post which has been put out by the CEO of Zomato because they've already started their trial run. This is what, once they decide to go through with it, which has happened, this is how it's going to turn up on your phone. Step one is that you'll get this and this message which says, "Hear from restaurants, now get offer updates directly from restaurants." If you click on that, the step two is this, which is going to pop up, which is share my phone number or the option of do not share my phone number. You'll get both these options. So be very careful. In fact, I'm going to request the director to put it full frame so that you'll be able to see very closely as to what these two options are. It's important you do not press the wrong option. The option you can touch, there you have it. You'll be able to see this more clearly. Share my phone number or do not share my phone number. Well, the choice is yours. So what changes now? Let's say that you decide to share your phone number. Well, what happens now? Your app has only your phone number. So far, only app has the phone number. Let's say it is Zomato. Zomato only has your phone number and no one else. Next, if you press yes to that, then restaurants will get your number as well. The second difference, how it changes, is that now, for example, you can call the restaurants. You know, you at times want to say you want extra gravy, you want a certain type of food to be delivered, the portion, so on and so forth. But now restaurants can also call you back because they have your number as well. Well, now remember, the data which is being shared with the restaurant owners is how many orders are coming in a larger radius. That this is the area, this is the radius, and these are the number of orders which are coming in. This is the kind of food that they are ordering for. But now onwards, consumer-specific data is going to be shared. Your phone number, for example, your consumer-specific data is going to be shared with the restaurant. But why do restaurants need your phone number? Well, this is their rationale. And this is what is getting red flagged as well. Well, the restaurants say that we are disconnected from our own consumers. Despite the fact that we are paying high commissions to these delivery apps, we have no access to our own customers. They've also said that they need the ability to reach a customer directly, not via some app. They also say that it is going to help them build long-term relationships with their customers beyond just that one order. They also say that it will help spend their marketing money more wisely because now they have more data on you. They are going to send you offers that match the customer interest and will be customized for a certain person and that person's interest. Meanwhile, now that there is this huge dilemma over to do or not to do, to agree or not to agree, Zomato on its part has come out trying to allay the fears of any data privacy breach. In fact, that CEO has this to say. He says only the phone number is going to be shared, nothing else. If and when consent is provided, only then will it be shared. No other information is going to be shared with the restaurants. So what's the problem? Well, let's tell you. It's specifically problematic if you agree to share your phone number with restaurants via an aggregator. The biggest problem which has been red flagged is the possible misuse of personal data privacy. Who's going to store your data? How are the restaurants keeping it? Other than the restaurants, does everyone get access to it? Do all their employees in the restaurant have access to your phone number? What about the safety of your data? Second red flag is this may just result in increased spam. A lot of things that you may not want are now going to be given to you. Secondary marketing outreach is definitely going to happen because they're going to be telling you what else they want to sell to you. There'll be unsolicited promotional messages as well which will come to you, and you may be nudged for loyalty points. That once you order from a restaurant, next week they'll tell you, buy some more, you'll get loyalty points. Commercial profiling of consumers is also going to happen because now they will have details of not just your phone number, what you're ordering from their phone number, how many people are having veg or non-veg or Chinese and so on and so forth. But also it may be used for future campaign outreach. Future, they may continue to use your data. The phone number you gave once will be available to them for future also. And finally, and this is an important point, it may normalize the routine exchange of data, that it will become so normal that everywhere, now it is optional, later on it may become mandatory. It will increase the intrusion in our private lives with this kind of data sharing. So are you and your phone data safe? Is your phone number safe? What about your personal data? What are the checks and balances as per the law? Let's explain the Digital Personal Data Protection Act and what it says about giving consent, about withdrawing consent, and where there are indeed loopholes still there. First, we are going to look at the nature of consent as per the DPDP Act. It says you are free to accept or reject, but what must come up is free, specific and informed decision on consent. The consent must be given freely, specifically and in an informed matter, in very clear words must be sought. Also, it clearly says that the aggregator must specify what this data is going to be collected for, have no ambiguity there, and collect only the necessary data. If they need only the A, they should not ask for B and C. Also, when it comes to the contact number, data protection officer must be appointed and the contact number of that person must be prominently given. What about the withdrawal of consent? That's the second part that we are coming to. You have the right to withdraw your consent at any given point in time. Very important to point this out. You have the right to withdraw consent. The withdrawal of consent will not be retrospective. If you've already given it 1 week back, 2 months back, it will not be retrospective. Whatever's gone, the data that's gone has been already shared. The consumer, however, will have to bear the consequences. Under this, data principal may lose the services clause, which essentially means that who's the data principal? You, the consumer. In case you say, I withdraw my consent, then you will have to bear the consequences. What are the consequences? You may just lose services. For example, they may decide that now onwards, we may or may not deliver food for you, deliver a service for you, and so on and so forth. This is as per the DPDPA. Now, there are also gaps in this law. It does not specify the window for redressal. If you go and complain, how long will it take? There's nothing specified on that front. Also, the form of grievance mechanism is rather vague in the DPDPA Act. Is it going to be an in-app complaint button, or will there be a website portal that you have to go to? Well, we are not quite sure. And, well, we honestly do not know. Also, there's a fear that if you withdraw consent, what if you lose services? So many of us will think, why should we withdraw consent? Instead, just give the consent because we don't want to lose any services. So let me go across to two people who are joining us with who have a better understanding of these things. There's Lloyd Matthias, who's joining us, an independent director. Also, Vineet Vadhwa is joining us, founder and CEO of the FIO restaurants. Vineet, a pleasure to have you on the show. I love eating at your restaurant, I must say, but I'm not so sure that I want to give you my phone number. Vineet, why do you need it?
I already have 90% of the data with me. It's probably less and under 10%,
really?
Which may come my way now, if through Zomato.
Please explain.
But yes, because you see, as it's mostly the takeaway places which are relying mostly on Zomato and Swiggy that have a different approach to this whole subject.
Okay.
But as far as restaurants is concerned, the quantum of orders through Zomato is probably 10% or in a single digit.
Right.
So if that data is coming to me, it's not really adding up anything much. But yes, it does make me feel a little better and confident of the kind of people that are coming to me through takeaway, which I didn't have any information before.
But,
so it's a...
But where does this data, Vineet, you said you may have 80% of this data available to you already. Where do you save this data? Who has access to this data? Can we be 100% sure that the data which is already with you, and I'm just talking about generically here, any restaurant, if they're keeping it safe or not?
See, like any other retail space, all restaurants, when you make a reservation, do keep data with them, and to some advantage. Most of it is to see if there is a repeat customer. Most of it is around that, to know. And it is nicer when the people are recognized when they're going to the same place again and again. Or if they're ordering, if the same old client is ordering again and again, if he's recognized, that recognition goes a long way. So I think hospitality, the philosophy and psychology of hospitality needs to be understood rather than facts and figures as what we are talking about.
Oh, that's interesting. So essentially, hospitality is about personalization and what could be more personal than something which is specifically catered to you. But Lloyd Matthias, Lloyd, what do you think? Does that add up for you when it comes to data privacy? Many would think, let's just press agree. After all, I do want to order in from this specific restaurant. So what if my number is gone? Does that add up for you there?
Thanks, Meghna. Frankly, it just does not add up. You know, while I respect Vineet and, you know, I value his restaurants and I've been a foodie myself, I must say that when I voluntarily choose to give my name and number to a restaurant like FIO's, I do it because I respect the kind of the restaurant is and I believe they follow some sound management principles, right? And there might be a set of restaurants in certain hotels of 5 stars that I'm voluntarily giving my number to. But when Zomato gives my number to a set of restaurants without my prior consent, right? While I've signed up for Zomato and I've, possibly ticked the fine print, I'm hugely concerned, right? There could be unsavory elements. There could be small restaurants that could spam me. There's a huge privacy risk. I'm not sure if a lot of our restaurants follow the best data protection standards, right? Having my database in a company like Zomato is acceptable to me, but having a whole bunch of my numbers leaked out to restaurants, letting them kind of data misuse by these restaurants is a big, big problem area for me. I don't want to be spammed. I don't want to have some random restaurant. I don't want to have some, some chef from that restaurant kind of leaking this data or taking this data to a new startup that he's doing, which is a smaller restaurant. I think that is a huge, huge problem, right? And that seriously needs to be looked at. And I wish Zomato were to kind of relook or at least do a consultation before taking these unilateral calls. I mean, ostensibly in the name of customer service, ostensibly because the restaurant association have got a gun to their head.
But Lloyd, here's my problem. Today they are saying that it is with consent. Today they are saying you have to either agree or disagree. Tomorrow, it may be normalized data sharing. Tomorrow, you may not have a choice. And that's my fear, Lloyd.
Oh, absolutely. And therefore, my point is, even the fact that I've consented to being part of Zomato, which I'm sure all of us have and a lot of us have used them, the fact that they are going to sell or give my number to third parties, be they restaurants or for other brands within their portfolio, right? They have an event company or they have another experiential company. I think each of this needs very specific consent. I'm okay if Zomato gets back to me and saying that these two restaurants are seeking your number. Can I give it to them? And I would check, right? If it's a restaurant of my choice,
Fair
of a
enough.
certain quality,
Valid point.
I'm okay with it. But randomly giving a one-way consent, not acceptable.
A very valid point. Vineet, would you like to come in? I may decide that I want to give few my number. I may not want to give everyone my number. But tell me one thing. You're part of, Vineet, you're part of the NRAI. How many restaurants are part of it? How many restaurants rhetorically could get access to my number?
Why will I share my database with NRAI? I don't understand.
No, I mean, since this pact of Zomato is with the NRAI, how many restaurants are connected to Zomato? Over 3 lakhs? Over 5?
No, not that many.
Not that many?
Not that many. It runs in thousands only.
Okay, there are conflicting reports in that case, which is why I was asking.
You're talking about New Delhi, right?
No, across.
Across the country?
Yes.
Oh, I'm afraid I'll not be able to answer that.
Okay, some reports say 3 lakhs, some say it is 5, some say 500,000, so on and so forth. But yes.
I think the understanding should be that there are two parties. There is a party consuming and there is a party which is providing. The third party ideally is Zomato. We are not the third party.
Okay.
We need to know whom we are giving to. It's in fact the data which was going to Zomato, which was being probably utilized, which we don't know where. They were sitting on the massive database, which they could be selling or doing whatever they would be doing to it.
But Zomato did not want to share it even with the restaurants.
Zomato definitely did not want to share it with the restaurant. And of course, the restaurants felt that we didn't even know. We had a blackout. We didn't know where we were providing our food to. Or who was calling for it? Was it my repetitive customer? Was it the customer in my vicinity? Was it basically a restaurateur only wants to know who the customer is? Is this is regular? Is it in the vicinity? Is the person calling up from far off? And where is my food traveling to? I need to know how well my food travels. If I'm doing the right thing for it to travel 10 kilometers or 2 kilometers, there's a lot that we need to understand when we have the data with us. Data is not about troubling the customer.
It's just to understand, Lloyd, I'm just going to give you like 10 seconds closing comments. Do you finally empathize with where Vineet is coming from?
Not at all. I think the first factual inaccuracy is that when I get out of Zomato, it's an agreement between Zomato and me. I'm not concerned with a third party, right? If I like the restaurant at Fios, I'm happy to get into a deal with Fios, right? So when I go to the restaurant, I leave my number and says, may I call you directly for an order? And that's perfectly good. But in this case, I'm dealing with Zomato. And if Zomato chooses to give my number to Fios, which is okay, but to a restaurant which I don't find suitable,
agreed,
I have a problem with that. And that, to my mind, is a big violation of privacy. Right? So Zomato has to learn to respect an agreement.
So we have given our consent. When we press I agree, it is so that we can be served. No, not that we can be spammed. Not so that we can be surveilled upon. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Lloyd Matthias as well as Vineet Wadhwa for joining us here on the show. Without a short break, don't go anywhere.